One nation of 1 billion plus has a whole community awaiting justice, freedom, equality. India's LGBTQ plus population were dealt another delay after one Supreme Court judge recused himself from hearing a review petition of a constitutional bench verdict. The Desi queer community had got hope from this very court in October 2023. In a landmark judgment, the Indian top court expanded the definition of discrimination. However, same-sex marriage remained out of reach. Then, on 10th of July 2024, the Supreme Court was all set to hear a review petition against its October 17th judgment. The 5-judge bench could not hear the review, though, as Justice Sanjeev Khanna recused himself. A similar 5-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court had refused to change or strike down the Special Marriage Act of 1954 in 2023. The top court had urged the centre to decide on a law for same-sex marriages while observing that there was no unqualified right to marriage. So is it legal, just not attainable? Or is it illegal until a law deems otherwise? Essentially, while same-sex relationships are not illegal, such marriages are not a right still in India. So why should you care?
I think there are also common observations of the right to unions, civil unions, but the recognition under the law as to whether they can be treated as marriage or not has been left entirely to the legislature. And two, there are of course directions to prevent any kind of harassment of people on the basis of their sexual orientation or their gender for that matter. The better part of the judgment has relegated most of these issues to the legislature and the executive.
Just remember, there is no specified right to chew, spit, or burp in public either, but there exists a clearly defined right to equality in the Indian Constitution.
जैन मज़हब हो, बौद्ध मज़हब हो, कोई भी मज़हब हो, को उसकी इजाज़त नहीं देता है। और हम जिस मुल्क में रहते हैं उस मुल्क का समाज, उसकी सिविलाइजेशन जो है वो तो पूरी दुनिया में उसकी आइडेंटिटी है
कि हमारी लोकतांत्रिक व्यवस्था में जो संसदीय तंत्र है वो ऐसे विषयों को एड्रेस करने के लिए सक्षम है और वो उस पर उचित निर्णय ले सकता है।
So why can't the community almost co-opting the VIBG or can't have their lives in black and white? While bigoted people force them into ghettos, refusing housing, education, jobs and even services, the law stands by them. As per the Indian Constitution, the right to equality includes equality before law. It prohibits discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth, and equality of opportunity in matters of employment. So, on the face of it, the LGBTQ community should be allowed to get married freely, just like straight people. The law works differently, though. When two people get married, unlike daily soaps, it is more than the communion of two families. For starters, a married couple can acquire property together, open joint bank accounts, and possibly most importantly, nominate their partners for insurance and pension benefits. For an LGBTQ couple, these benefits remain a distant dream. They can share a roof, divulge their bank details, and even adopt a child. They can never legally share all this. A house will belong to only one of two, the bank will never be a joint account, and the child shall legally be viewed as adopted by a single parent. So back to the core question, if not illegal, why still unattainable? On October 17th, 2023, all 5 judges had agreed it was time to end the discrimination against same-sex couples. However, they could not reach a consensus on allowing the status of a legally recognized civil union to queer couples.
Because ultimately on the question of legislative amendments to the SMA, because it involves the question of revisiting the institution of marriage, the Parliament may want a wider consultation.
The petitioners had argued the Special Marriage Act violates Articles 14, 15, 19, 21 and 25 of the Constitution. They had also sought that words husband and wife be changed to gender-neutral one like party or spouse. Their main demand, however, was to get the SMA interpreted as a gender-neutral law that allows same-sex marriages. The queer petitioners had one goal: equality. However, the Supreme Court had noted that they cannot issue a mandate to the Parliament.
So the Supreme Court should certainly take a constructive, sympathetic stand in keeping with their ruling of the past that homosexuality is not a crime in India. Now let's try and enable such people to live decent lives as the rest of us can do. I think it's a human rights issue, it's a humane issue, and to take a stand against it is very, very blinker.
While there are allies, same-sex marriages are considered a taboo. Religious leaders across party lines say it goes against the culture of India and against their scriptures. Leaders across political lines dilly-dally, likely in an attempt to not upend the status quo, but the estimated millions across India continue to suffer